name is Millie Rios. I'll be doing an informative speech of legalization of marijuana. We're all told when growing up that drugs are bad for you. They can damage your health and ruin your future. However, now people such as scientists believe that marijuana can be used in good ways, even though they can also have negative outcomes. This question is should marijuana be legalized? My purpose is to inform you the pros and cons of legalization of marijuana. I have not only done extensive research on this topic, but I am also incredibly interested in whether or not marijuana should be legalized. My main points are to inform you is marijuana legalization can boost the economy, bring crime rates down, and it can also harm the health effects of others and can harm the environment. Now that we have previewed the main points, I want to discuss the first pro of marijuana legalization, which is it can boost the economy. The marijuana industry in the United States could exceed $24 billion in revenue by 2025 for every dollar spent in the marijuana industry. Between $2.13 and $2.40 in economic activity is generated. Tourism, baking, food, real estate, construction, and transportation are a few of the industries that benefit from legal marijuana. This example shows from marijuana can boost the economy. For instance, the transportation industry delivers marijuana, which is given to the consumers who buys the product, which helps the economy make more money. So we know that marijuana can boost the economy, but it can also bring crime rates down. In 2020, researchers looked at how adults use marijuana legalization in Washington and Colorado, affected in crime rates in neighborhood states, and the resulting study determined that passages of recreational cannabis laws may have actually reduced certain major crimes in nearby jurisdictions. This demonstrates how legalization in some states decreased the crime rates, meaning that if more states legalize marijuana, it will supposedly lower the rate of crime rates such as burglaries. However, we can never know what people will do with such drugs that can increase or decrease the crime rates. Now we will focus on the cons of marijuana and why it should not be legalized. Marijuana can affect the health. Marijuana use common with real risks that can impact the person's health and life. Marijuana can cause permanent IQ loss of as much as 8 points when people start using it at a young age. These IQs do not come back even after quitting marijuana. It can affect performances and how well people do in life. Researchers shows that people who use marijuana are more likely to have relationships problems, worse educational outcomes, lower career achievement, and reduced life satisfactions. One can say how marijuana can affect a person's health. Not only does it affect health, it can also the recreation, the mind, the way a person thinks, since marijuana can cause impairment to the brain. Now that you understand how marijuana can affect health, it can also harm the environment. The study reviews the environment impacts of cannabis cultivation. Results shows that both indoor and outdoor cannabis growing is water intensive. The high water demand leads to water pollution and diversion, which could negatively affect the ecosystem. Studies found out that cannabis plants emit a significant amount of biogenic volatile organic compounds, which can cause indoor air quality issues. As shown by researchers, studies marijuana can have the ability to absorb and store heavy metals, which can harm the body when inhaled. Not only that, marijuana uses twice the water amount to produce the product. As we see how marijuana can cause harm to the environment by taking twice the water source, absorbing toxic metals, and more. While this information has negative aspects, legalization of marijuana has its positivities. Finally, to review everything covered today, I will summarize the main points again. First, marijuana's legalization boosts the economy. Second, the crime rates go down. Third, it can cause negative health effects. And lastly, it can cause harm to the environment. The purpose of my presentation today was to inform you of the pros and cons of the legalization of marijuana. Now, if you recall at the beginning of my presentation, I said we were all told when growing up that drugs are bad for you and can damage your health and ruin your future. However, nowadays, people such as scientists believe that marijuana can be used in good ways but can also have negative outcomes. So the question remains whether marijuana should be legalized or not.